Welcome to the lecture series of computer programming. Today's topic we are going to see about the formatted input output and unformatted input output. Before going to see that, C programming language provide the input and output functions. So what is the input functions means when the user what is the input function means it's read a input character from the keyboard by the user. It is called a input functions. What do you mean by output? It just display the output entered by the user. So input and output is performed is under the console operations. So before going to see that input and output functions of the format specifiers, what are the types of input and output functions are available means C programming language provides the two types of format specifier. That means format specifiers and format input and output and unformatted input and output. So what is the formatted input and output means? It does follow some format when you giving the input or when you reading the input or when you giving the output. So what does the format means? Each and every variable have a data types, right? Integer, character, float, double, these are all the data types available in our C programming language. When you using a formatted input output means we have to specify the format of your data type. For example, when you take a integer data type, you have to specify the format specifier of %d. Like that for character %c, and like that for float %f. So you have to specify the format for each and every data type. So this is the formatted input and output. So what is the input means? Reading the reading the character from the keyboard by the user is called as input. Output means just display the output in the console is called as output. So format use of input and output means when you giving the input, it the console operation, the compiler operations performs converting the binary representation of your data into the some ASCII values when you using the formatted output. Formatted input means it vice versa. It converts the ASCII representation of your data into your binary representation. When you reading the output, it displays the output in the form of ASCII values. That means ASCII symbols. For example, ASCII value for small a represents 65, ASCII value for caps B represent 95. Like that we have each and every character we have ASCII values. So formatted output represent the in the form of ASCII values. So it does some conversions behind the compiler. So it is called a formatted input and output. When you compare to unformatted input and output, it does not have any conversion behind the compiler. For example, when you read the input from the user, it does not do any conversion because we didn't mention any formatted for your variable. So compared to formatted input and output, unformatted is very fast because it does not do any conversions. So mostly we prefer for unformatted input and output for the fast operation. If we need some specific values, if you need some specific output, for in that case you have to give in the form of formatted specifiers. So now let's have a look of this data types and the format specifiers. I am taking the 4 data types. First one is int and float, double, character. So these are all the available data types, and the format specifier for this data types are %d, %f and %lf, so respective %c. So these are all format specifier for the data type. Before writing a example for integer data types, let me see look of the what is main function, printf and return. So for every C programming language we have a main function. So what is a main function means? It is it do a main jobs of your program. The compiler goes first only to this main functions. So this main function is very important in our C program. When you give a main function, the compiler works from this functions from state by statement. Printf refers to the output operations. It displays the output in the console. Return refers to the exit status. Main function is the first execution of your program. This is the first executions. So let's have a look of this integer, float, double character. We are going to write example for how we get the output by using these data types. So I am going to write example for formatted output. First we have to use the library files #include stereo.h, and next one is the main function. So this is the main function. Execution starts here. So this line refers to the command line. Execution starts here. So block of the main function. First I am going to use integer format. For that I am going to declare a variable by using int. Int refers to integer. Int a value is 10. So a is a variable which refers to integer. So I am giving an integer value as 10. This is in the form of variable definition. If you give int a means, int b means, it is called variable declaration. When you give a value, it is called as a variable definition. When you just declare a variable, is called variable declaration. This is called variable declaration. This is for variable definition. So now I am going to display this value by using the function called printf. So printf is a output statement which displays the values or which displays the text in the console. So f refers to the format specifier. So it print in the form of with specifier. So it is called printf. So printf does not include new line characters. So if you want to print in the next line of the text means you have to include /n. So here I am going to use only one line, so no need of this. So I am going to print this value. So printf double quotes, inside the double quotes, the value of a. So this will display in the form as it is. So the output will be the value of a colon. So I need to display this value. So for that you have to use comma and a. So this will not display a value because we have to specify the format specifier. So what is the format specifier for int? %d. So where you have to display means the value of a colon. So here I have to display the value of a. So here you have to use %d. So %d. For your reference only I am using different colors. So the value of a, %d, then double quotes. So it will display the value of a. So where you giving the format specifier, in that format specifier the value will display. Then return. So return refers to the exit status. The program will exit. So the output of the program is the value of a is 10. So this is the output of the program. So next, for that, what you can ask, what is the format specifier for float, double, character? So same thing you have to apply in next program. Let me see what is this. So again I am writing #include. So in this program I am going to use 3 data types in same program. So float, f, value I am giving as 10.5, then double d is 15.65, then character c refers to a. So for decimal values just you give as it is. For a character you should enclose in single quotes. Next I am going to use printf function for displaying this value. Printf the value of float. I will print. So here I have to display the float value as 10.5. So in that case I have to mention what format specifier for float. Format specifier for float is %f. So close the double quotes. What is the variable declared here? F. So these are all user defined. F, D, C, F equal to 10.5, D and C, these are all user defined variable. Next one is I am going to print the value of double. So here what is the value format specified for double is %LF. So variable name D. Printf, again you should give the value of char. So here what is the format specifier? %C, then C, return 0, then close the function. So here what will be the output means it will print the value of character. So this is the output for this respective program. So here I am not including /n. When you are including /n only, you will get the output in next line. So I am going to include /n after here. So you have to include /n. So /n refers to the new line character. So it will, when you see the /n, it will goes to the next statement. So this is the example for formatted output using integer float double character. So next we going to see about formatted input. So what do you mean by input? Means you are going to read the character from the user using the console. So what is the function for that input? For output function we are using scanf. Same thing we are using the function called for output function we are using the printf function. Same thing we are using here is scanf function. So scanf is a input function which is used to read the data from the user. So I am going to write the example for scanf function. So here I am going to declare only a variable. The values are read from the user. So I am going to declare only a variable for integer float double and char. Float f double d and char is c. So first thing I want to tell the user enter a integer value. So I am displaying a string as enter a integer. So by using scanf function I am going to get the data from the user. Scanf. So what data I am going to get means integer data. So what is the format specifier means %d. So I am going to get the integer data. Then I have to mention ampersand. Ampersand refers to the address of the variable. So it will allocate address of the variable. When the user type a value, it will store the address in this. It will store the value in the address. For example, ampersand A refers to the address of the variable. When user types a value, the value will store in this address. So same thing I am going to repeat for float double. Scanf. For float I am using scanf %f ampersand f. So variable name is f, so I am using f. Next, for reading a double value, so for that percentage LF ampersand D. Next, for reading a character value for percentage using percentage C, comma ampersand C. So that's it. So the output will be the enter a integer value. So it will ask for the integer value. The user can type any values. I am giving 15. Next, it asks for float value. I am giving as 10.5. Next, it asks for a double value. I am giving as 11.6. Next, it asks for a character value. So character is 1 byte data. So you should give a single character. So I am giving as D. So next topic, I am going to see about the multiple values. I am going to discuss about the how to give multiple values in scanf function, in single scanf. So here we are using a different scanf function for each and every value. So it will take multiple statements. For reducing this, I am using a for reducing this statement into a single statement, I am going to use input output of multiple values in a single statement. So how we are giving means, so instead of this I am going to write as printf. So this is just for display purpose. So enter a int comma float comma double comma character value. So I am just displaying this string in the output function. Here I am asking the value for this. So first thing I need a integer value, so percentage D. Second one I need a float value, so percentage F. Third one is double value, percentage LF. Fourth one is character value, percentage C. So I need to allocate address for this variable. So percentage A comma percentage F comma percentage D comma percentage C. Then terminate the statement. So instead of giving this, instead of giving the statement, you can give in a single line also. So this also gives the same output. So this output will be like enter a int float double char value. Then user can type a int value 15 space 10.5 11.6 like D. So in single line we are getting a multiple input and output.